Welcome back. They've been handing L's all around.
Yeah.
And we're here for it.
Just like he said, L's all around. Even L's over toward Manchester City's camp this week. And it's not just one loss, it's two. Okay? City Twitter's going crazy, as expected, as they always do for any event.
You lose 2 games in a month, and it's the end of the world.
End of the world. First game we lost, Carabao Cup. The cup we pretty much own, but not anymore.
But Pep's not a proud owner of it, even though he's won it a couple of times.
So Newcastle, man, it was a tight game. Rodri's out. We see Calvin Phillips coming in for the start. We missed Kovacic. We're missing a lot of players. I'm not going to blame it on our lack of availability because we have a strong all-around squad. So we should be able to. I felt we should have been able to go through against Newcastle. Newcastle put up a hell of a performance. Yeah. They deserve to go through, honestly. We didn't take our chances. I don't know what's going on with Manchester City lately, but the last few games, like I'll get into, we just haven't been finishing our chances.
I think Pep really, so we all saw his press conference after the game. Him saying, it doesn't matter. We don't really care about this. We don't. And that, to me, is the wrong mindset to have coming out of that loss. It's not a whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. This competition doesn't matter. No, every competition that you play in matters. Yeah. Obviously, there's a scale. The Champions League and the Premier League are 10 times more important than the Carabao Cup, but that's still a trophy. That's still something that has your name etched on it in history. Now, obviously, I got to defend the Carabao Cup a little bit more because we just won it, but it still deserves some respect. Newcastle gave it that respect in going into that game.
Pretty much full 11.
They have
not full, but
they brought it because they have to. This is a team that hasn't won a trophy in almost 70 years. They got to perform every week, and that's what they did.
Newcastle definitely weren't full strength. I'll give them that. We weren't full strength either. Gomez coming in, Lewis coming in, Ortega. Again, no excuse though. I wanted more of a performance. The finishing was lacking. And we see the same thing again in our game against Wolves. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Erling Haaland kind of missing that game. You could say it's because he's not really getting the services, not getting the chances, and I would agree with you. We weren't really creating as much. I want to see more from Phil Foden. I want to see more from Julian Alvarez off the ball. Like, I need to see more of Jack Grealish. Oh my goodness, I need to see more of Jack Grealish. This man is not performing to his expected standard. Doku, he was a somewhat of a bright spot in that performance. Gvardiol didn't play. This game is just frustrating. Certain points, I see why we lost. And again, we also hear Pep Guardiola talking about the South Korean guy, and then that guy goes and scores on you. Like, call the goal whatever you want. It was a scrappy goal in the box, you know. He pounces on it and scores. It's 2-1. Alvarez had a free kick. It's a good goal, but where's the open play? Where's the creativity? We need more of it. We're missing Bernardo Silva. We're missing Rodri. We're missing De Bruyne. We're missing key players. It's no excuse, though. There's no excuse. We have amazing world-class, maybe not technical, some of them aren't all world-class, but great, amazing, phenomenal players who would start anywhere in the Prem. Yeah. We have those in our team, okay? Even on our bench.
There's game changers.
We need to be doing better. We need to be putting the ball in the back of the net. I don't expect perfection every week. But with the squad we have, I expect the ball to be put in the back of the net.
Those are 2 really rough performances back to back. I mean, if those were...
It carried over. For sure, carried over absolutely. From the Newcastle game into the Wolves game.
We know that Rodri was out from the suspension. We know that De Bruyne's been hurt. We know Bernardo picked up a knock. We know these things are going to be going into effect, or we know these things are going to have an effect going into the game. So for Pep to kind of just brush these off to the wayside, it's like you got to have a little bit more care, a little bit more intensity in how you talk about these things. Because to just say that Korean guy and forget his name of somebody that you're playing in a couple of days, that's so disrespectful,
dude, if you don't remember his name, just skip over it.
Just the Wolf Strikers.
The Wolf Strikers.
The Wolf Striker, not that Korean guy.
Anything, man. Come on. Like, that was a L move. He's making some L decisions, Pep Guardiola. He's leaving Calvin Phillips in the middle of the field all by himself. This man didn't play very much at all last season. He's playing a little bit more now. But to put him in that position, I feel like he was just setting him up for failure. I'm not saying Calvin Phillips has what it takes to be a reliable rotation player in our squad, because so far he hasn't shown that. But he also hasn't been put in the position to do that, okay?
Yeah.
You're putting him in these positions to where he's not going to thrive. I expect more from him. I will say that. I do expect more from him. But at the same time, I mean, he put in with Rodri when he comes back. We need some of that. He needs somebody like that with guidance. You don't put him next to Nunez. That guy's bombing forward at left and right. Kovacic, he's not the same as Calvin Phillips. Rodri is the closest thing you can get to Calvin Phillips. So I don't know what needs to happen. If he needs to go, he needs to go. But I don't think he's being put in the position to succeed. I want to see more from really everyone. Nobody was performing over these last 2 games. I'm very disappointed. So hopefully in the Champions League we can turn it around.
And now your favorite segment of the week. The weekly shitty day for Trevin.
He's got a 50-50 though.
It should be a new weekly occurrence. See, here's the thing. Going into the weekend, I was confident because we just came off of a big 3-0 win over the same exact team in the midweek. We go up to London. It's a tough game. Crystal Palace are always a tough opponent.
Yes.
They always make it hard. They don't have Zaha. They don't have some of the creative players that they've had in the past.
Elise was out, I believe.
And Elise was out as well. But Eze was there, provided some really good attacking runs. It was a real back and forth type of game that United were finally able to take over. There was a couple of mistakes there. Wasn't a great performance, but it was a win. It was a 3-0 win against a good team that will finish mid-table. They're not going to be relegated. They're not going to, push us for Europe or anything like that. But they're a good, solid quality team that you need to gain those points and advance through the tournaments. You need to get that momentum going. And we did for a game.
It was a good 3-0 win for sure. That's a big confidence booster. It's a cup. It's Crystal Palace.
It kind of gets the monkey off of Eric Ten Hag's back for 5 days.
For a few days, yeah. It was a good booster for the squad, getting a 3-0 win away at Crystal Palace.
Yep.
That's, you know what I mean? That's an achievement and stuff, you know what I mean?
I was home.
Crystal Palace.
I was wrong.
Crystal Palace is a good team. So, taking that 3-0 win, that's huge. You're hoping that can carry over. It's huge considering what's been going on before. They're not doing so hot.
Yeah.
You get that win. You're hoping maybe this can kickstart something in the Prem, turn some keys or whatnot.
But it just wasn't happening. I mean, we saw a rotated 11 for the first game in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, we just said the Carabao Cup deserves the respect, but it is a competition to rotate some key players, to get some players some minutes, get them their fitness. And I've got to shout out Maybury, Hannibal, we know you're watching, love it, keep running your socks off, but then doesn't get a single minute on the weekend. Doesn't get a minute. Obviously, he's young, he's getting his fitness, he's got to get his legs under him. He's played 3 games in a row, but if he's got the hot hand, play him.
Yeah.
I cannot stand watching McTominay and Eriksen come off the bench or start over people that actually show the heart and the desire and are better. Maybe he's not better than Eriksen, but he is better than McTominay. So for him to not get the chances and then for other players to be hurt, it's a tough spot for us. And the 1-0 against Crystal Palace in the Prem does not help. And it's unfortunate because the momentum and our confidence is slowly starting to pick up, in my opinion, because of the availability issues that we've had in the past. Players are coming back to fitness. Okay. People are coming back into training. We've seen Amrabat slot in at left back, not even close to his natural position, but still doing relatively well for somebody that has never played in our system, hasn't played for Ten Hag in like 6 years. So it's going to be difficult to jump right into there, and I think he's done well. We see Manu coming back, Mount coming back. Unfortunately, though, big devastating news. The big man himself, Lisandro Martinez, is going to be out for like 2-3 months.
Out. Gone.
And it's the worst possible injury that we could take right now. Honestly, because the back line is depleted. We had, not even 2 weeks ago, Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire on the pitch at the same time. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be coming too. I think that's going to be something that we see in the future, and I'm not loving it. But the only bright side of this Crystal Palace game, to me, is there were some opportunities, and the goal that Crystal Palace scored was an absolute worldie. Like, Anderson just blasted that into the roof. Like, there was nothing Onana or anyone could have done. Just a really great goal. Really unfortunate, but we just got to be better.
Champions League, though, it's coming up. You're going to come back to watch our post-game interviews with each other, okay?
We know.
Manchester City taking on Leipzig.
United playing Galatasaray. Manchester City seem to always find themselves in the group with Leipzig. The easiest teams.
I don't want to say the easiest teams. The last 3 or 4 years,
not an easy team.
The last 3 or 4 years, it has been fairly easy. But at the same time, we have had Leipzig in there every single time. Who, granted, we have smashed pretty much every single time we've played them. At the same time, though, they are a quality team. I expect a big response on Wednesday from Manchester City because this is not okay what's been going on in the last 2 games. I'm not going to be one City fan like the world's ending, whatnot. But I want better.
I agree in terms of United. Obviously, we want better. We always want our teams to improve. But honestly, from United, I just need to see some confidence. I need to see some real good possession-based football.
Yeah.
We need to see it. We need to see these players getting into the system, figuring out where they're supposed to be positionally, and when to make runs, when to fill in. It's just some basic things that some of the players are missing, and I gotta see that. And hopefully, we can get a win.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you Dusty Ballers this week. We know you'll be back on Thursday, just because we'll be back. Champions League review
Yeah, man.
coming at you quick.
Yeah, man.